The 2024 US presidential election is fast approaching. All eyes are on Vice President Kamala Harris. She's making a historic bid for the highest office in the land. Harris is the first female, first black, and first Asian American vice president. She carries the weight of these identities as she seeks the presidency. Harris faces a unique set of challenges. Some are inherent to any presidential candidate. Others are amplified by her status as a pioneering woman in American politics. The political landscape is already buzzing with speculation. Will America elect its first female president, or will historical precedents prevail? This question looms large. It is tempting to frame the narrative around gender. Pundits and voters alike might be quick to attribute success or failure to Harris's gender. This tendency to view female candidates through a gendered lens is pervasive. It can overshadow the complex tapestry of factors that determine electoral outcomes. This essay delves into the heart of the 2024 election. We will explore the multifaceted forces at play. Our focus extends beyond simplistic explanations. We aim to move past attributing outcomes solely to gender dynamics. Attributing a female candidate's loss solely to her gender is not only reductive but also dangerous. It perpetuates harmful stereotypes. It undermines the complexities of electoral politics. It ignores the multitude of factors that influence voter behavior. These factors include policy positions, economic conditions, and campaign strategies. Instead of focusing on gender as the primary lens through which we view this election, we need to broaden our perspective. We must examine the full spectrum of influences that shape the political landscape. This includes a deep dive into the candidates themselves. We must understand their backgrounds, their policies, and their campaigns. Furthermore, we must consider the broader societal context. What are the prevailing social and economic anxieties? What are the key issues that resonate with voters? How do these factors intersect with the candidates and their campaigns? By delving into these multifaceted layers, we can begin to unravel the complexities of the 2024 election. We can move beyond simplistic explanations. Instead, we can foster a more informed and nuanced understanding of the factors that determine electoral outcomes. Kamala Harris's story is one of breaking barriers. Born in Oakland, California, to immigrant parents from Jamaica and India, Harris embodies the dynamism of the American dream. Her career has been marked by a series of firsts. She served as the first female district attorney of San Francisco and the first Black and Asian American Attorney General of California. These milestones underscore her tenacity and commitment to public service. They also highlight the systemic hurdles she has overcome to reach her current position. Harris's rise within the Democratic Party has been equally remarkable. Her sharp intellect, eloquence, and ability to connect with diverse audiences quickly made her a rising star. During her time as a senator, she gained national recognition for her incisive questioning during high-profile hearings. Her selection as Joe Biden's running mate in 2020 solidified her position as a prominent figure in the Democratic Party. This placed her on a trajectory toward a potential presidential bid. Understanding Harris's journey requires acknowledging the complexities of her identity. She is a woman of color, navigating a political landscape historically dominated by white men. This intersectionality has shaped her experiences, her policy positions, and the way she is perceived by the electorate. Her candidacy represents a potential turning point in American history. It also serves as a focal point for discussions about representation, equity, and the changing face of power. As we delve deeper into the 2024 election, it's crucial to recognize the significance of Harris's background. It informs her worldview, her approach to leadership, and her connection with voters. Her experiences as a prosecutor, a senator, and a vice president have equipped her with a unique perspective on the challenges facing the nation. This positions her to potentially lead with empathy, understanding, and a commitment to justice. The 2024 election unfolds against a backdrop of profound societal shifts and uncertainties. The nation is grappling with a multitude of challenges. These include a global pandemic, economic anxieties, and a deepening partisan divide. The political climate is charged with a sense of urgency. Voters are seeking leaders who can offer stability, vision, and a clear path forward. Several key issues are poised to dominate the 2024 election cycle. Climate change, healthcare, and the economy are top concerns for many Americans. Social issues such as racial justice, LGBTQ+ rights, and reproductive healthcare continue to spark passionate debate. The political landscape is further complicated by the rise of misinformation and the erosion of trust in institutions. These factors create a volatile and unpredictable electoral environment. Beyond the issues, the 2024 election features a diverse field of candidates vying for the presidency. Each contender brings unique strengths, weaknesses, and policy platforms to the table. The Democratic primary will likely involve a contest of ideas. It will center around the best way to address the nation's most pressing challenges while uniting a fractured electorate. On the Republican side, the primary is expected to be equally contentious. It will likely revolve around issues of identity, cultural anxieties, and the direction of the conservative movement. In this tumultuous landscape, voters are faced with a critical decision. They must carefully weigh the candidates' qualifications, policy positions, and ability to lead the nation through uncertain times. The outcome of the 2024 election will have far-reaching consequences. It will shape the country's domestic and foreign policy for years to come. Understanding the complex interplay of issues, candidates, and voter sentiment is essential to navigating this pivotal moment in American democracy. As the 2024 election cycle gains momentum, a crucial aspect of understanding the political landscape involves examining how each candidate's platform aligns with or diverges from the public's priorities and concerns. This alignment, or lack thereof, can be a significant factor in shaping voter decisions and ultimately determining the outcome of the election. The American public's concerns are multifaceted and often influenced by personal experiences, socioeconomic backgrounds, and geographic locations. However, certain issues consistently rank high on the list of voter priorities. These include the economy, healthcare, climate change, and social justice. Candidates who can effectively address these concerns and offer concrete solutions are more likely to resonate with voters. Each candidate's approach to addressing these issues will inevitably differ based on their ideological leanings, policy expertise, and campaign strategies. Some candidates might prioritize bold, progressive policies aimed at systemic change. Others may advocate for more moderate or incremental approaches. The ability to articulate a clear vision and demonstrate a deep understanding of the issues will be crucial for candidates seeking to gain the trust and support of the electorate. Furthermore, the alignment between a candidate's platform and the public's priorities can vary significantly across different demographic groups. For instance, younger voters may be particularly concerned about climate change and student loan debt, while older voters may prioritize healthcare and retirement security. Understanding these nuances and tailoring campaign messages to resonate with specific segments of the electorate will be essential for candidates hoping to build a winning coalition. Identity is an inescapable element of the human experience. It shapes our perspectives, values, and interactions with the world around us. In the realm of politics, identity takes on heightened significance, particularly for candidates vying for the public's trust and support. The intersection of identity and perception plays a pivotal role in shaping how candidates are viewed, judged, and ultimately supported by the electorate. Gender, race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic background are just a few facets of identity that can profoundly influence how a candidate is perceived by voters. These identities are not merely personal attributes. They carry historical weight, societal expectations, and often deeply ingrained biases. For female candidates, Navigating this complex landscape presents unique challenges and opportunities. Historically, women in politics have faced pervasive stereotypes and biases that shape how their qualifications, leadership styles, and even their voices are perceived. They often encounter a double bind, where they are expected to be both assertive and compassionate, strong and empathetic, a balancing act rarely required of their male counterparts. These ingrained biases can influence voter perceptions, sometimes consciously, but often unconsciously, impacting their willingness to support a female candidate. Furthermore, the intersectionality of identity adds another layer of complexity. For women of color, LGBTQ+ women, or women from minority religious backgrounds, the challenges of representation and the weight of expectations from their respective communities can be particularly significant. They often carry the hopes and aspirations of those who see themselves reflected in their journeys, while simultaneously navigating the biases and stereotypes prevalent in the larger society. Examining Kamala Harris's experiences through the lens of global politics reveals both the universality and specificity of the challenges faced by women aspiring to positions of leadership. Around the world, women have shattered glass ceilings and assumed prominent roles in government, challenging traditional power structures and paving the way for greater representation. Yet, their journeys are often fraught with obstacles, discrimination, and deeply entrenched societal norms. From Angela Merkel's steadfast leadership in Germany to Jacinda Ardern's compassionate yet decisive governance in New Zealand, women have demonstrated their ability to lead effectively on the world stage. Their successes serve as powerful examples of the transformative potential of women's leadership. However, these triumphs do not erase the systemic barriers and biases that persist even in countries lauded for their progress on gender equality. The global landscape of women in politics is marked by both progress and persistent challenges. While the number of women holding parliamentary seats has slowly increased in recent decades, true gender parity in political representation remains a distant goal. Women continue to be underrepresented in leadership positions across all levels of government, from local councils to international organizations. Kamala Harris's candidacy in the United States draws both inspiration and lessons from the experiences of her global counterparts. Her journey resonates with the struggles and triumphs of women who have dared to challenge the status quo and redefine leadership in their respective countries. By examining her experiences within a global context, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the systemic nature of gender inequality in politics and the importance of collective action in dismantling these barriers. The dual nature of identity. Politics, asset or obstacle. Identity politics, the complex interplay between a candidate's identity and their political platform, plays a multifaceted role in American elections. It can be both an asset, galvanizing support from specific communities, and an obstacle, reinforcing stereotypes and alienating voters who don't see themselves reflected in the candidate's identity. Understanding this duality is crucial to comprehending the complexities of Kamala Harris's candidacy and the broader landscape of American politics. On the one hand, identity politics can be a powerful tool for mobilization and representation. When a candidate's identity resonates with a particular community, it can foster a sense of shared experience, understanding, and trust. This connection can translate into enthusiastic support, increased voter turnout, and a platform that amplifies the concerns of historically marginalized groups. For Kamala Harris, her identity as the first female, first Black, and first Asian American vice president holds immense significance for many Americans. Her candidacy represents a potential turning point in American history, a beacon of hope for greater representation and inclusion in the highest echelons of power. This historic nature of her candidacy has undoubtedly energized many voters, particularly women and people of color, who see in her a reflection of their own aspirations and a champion for their concerns. However, the flip side of identity politics is the potential for division and alienation. When identity becomes the primary lens through which a candidate is viewed, it can overshadow their qualifications, policy positions, and vision for the country. It can also reinforce stereotypes and prejudices, leading to a narrowing of the political discourse and a reluctance to engage with candidates who represent different backgrounds or perspectives. Navigating this dual nature of identity politics requires a delicate balance. Candidates must authentically represent their identities and the experiences that have shaped their worldviews, while simultaneously emphasizing their qualifications, policy platforms, and vision for a more inclusive and equitable society. The media's lens shaping perceptions of Kamala Harris. The media plays a powerful role in shaping public opinion. It serves as a filter through which the public experiences political campaigns. This influence is particularly potent in the age of 24/7 news cycles and social media. Every word, every image, every soundbite is amplified and dissected. This creates a complex ecosystem where narratives are constructed, disseminated, and consumed at an unprecedented pace. For a candidate like Kamala Harris, who occupies a unique space in American history, the media's scrutiny is even more intense. As the first female, first Black, and first Asian American vice president, she carries the weight of representation on her shoulders. This makes her a lightning rod for both admiration and criticism. Her every move is analyzed not just for its political implications, but also for its cultural and societal significance. The media's portrayal of Kamala Harris is often shaped by a complex interplay of factors. These include her political positions, her performance in office, and her personal background. However, these factors are often viewed through the lens of her identity, which can lead to both positive and negative portrayals. On the one hand, her historic candidacy has been celebrated as a symbol of progress and a sign of a changing America. On the other hand, she has also been subjected to sexist and racist attacks, highlighting the persistent challenges faced by women and people of color in positions of power. Understanding the media's role in shaping perceptions of Kamala Harris is crucial for comprehending the broader dynamics of the 2024 election. By analyzing how she is portrayed, framed, and discussed in the media, we can gain insights into the underlying biases, assumptions, and narratives that shape public opinion. This analysis allows us to move beyond simplistic explanations and engage in a more nuanced and informed discussion about the role of media in a democratic society. Gendered language and media framing a closer look. One of the most insidious ways in which media coverage can influence public perception is through the use of gendered language and framing. Subtle word choices, often deployed unconsciously, can reinforce stereotypes and shape how viewers and readers perceive a candidate's competence, likability, and fitness for office. For female candidates like Kamala Harris, these linguistic nuances can have a significant impact on their public image and, ultimately, their electoral success. Research has consistently shown that women in leadership positions are often described using different language than their male counterparts. While men might be praised for their assertiveness and decisiveness, women exhibiting the same qualities are often labeled as bossy, shrill, or emotional. This double standard creates a challenging environment for female candidates who must navigate a narrow path between being perceived as too aggressive or too passive. Beyond individual word choices, the broader framing of a candidate's message can also be influenced by gender. For instance, female candidates are often asked to address their likability or their ability to connect with voters in ways that male candidates are rarely questioned. This focus on personality traits rather than policy positions can undermine a female candidate's credibility and reinforce the notion that women in politics must prioritize being liked over being respected. The media's use of gendered language and framing is often subtle and unintentional, reflecting deeply ingrained societal biases rather than a deliberate attempt to undermine female candidates. However, the impact of these subtle cues can be significant. shaping voter perceptions and influencing electoral outcomes. By becoming more aware of these linguistic nuances, we can begin to challenge these biases and create a more equitable playing field for all candidates, regardless of gender. Section 3. The power of narrative media impact on past elections. History is replete with examples of how media coverage has played a pivotal role in shaping the outcome of elections. From the Nixon-Kennedy debates, where television viewers favored Kennedy's charisma over Nixon's experience, to the rise of social media as a powerful force in the 2016 election, the media's influence on voter behavior is undeniable. By examining case studies of past elections, we can gain valuable insights into the power of narrative, the impact of media framing, and the potential consequences of biased coverage. One compelling example is the 2008 presidential election, where Barack Obama's campaign skillfully harnessed the power of social media and online organizing to mobilize a diverse coalition of voters. Traditional media outlets initially underestimated Obama's candidacy, but his campaign's ability to bypass traditional gatekeepers and connect directly with voters through new media platforms proved to be a game changer. This case study highlights the evolving nature of media influence and the importance of adapting to new technologies and platforms. Another illustrative example is the 2016 election, where the proliferation of misinformation and fake news on social media platforms played a significant role in shaping public discourse and influencing voter behavior. The rapid spread of false or misleading information, often amplified by algorithms designed to maximize engagement rather than accuracy, created an environment of distrust and polarization. This case study underscores the importance of media literacy and the need for critical thinking in an age of information overload. By analyzing the successes and failures of past campaigns and understanding the evolving media landscape, we can glean valuable lessons for the 2024 election. The media will undoubtedly play a significant role in shaping public perception of Kamala Harris and influencing the outcome of the election. By critically examining the media's coverage, engaging in thoughtful dialogue about its impact, and demanding accountability from those who shape the narratives we consume, we can work towards a more informed and equitable democratic process. Section 1. Policy positions, a litmus test for voters. In the intricate dance of electoral politics, a candidate's policy positions serve as a crucial point of connection with the electorate. Voters, driven by a diverse array of concerns and aspirations, scrutinize these positions as a window into the candidate's vision for the future and their ability to address the issues that matter most. For Kamala Harris, her policy stances represent not only her political ideology, but also her lived experiences as a woman, a person of color, and a product of the American dream. Throughout her career, Harris has consistently advocated for policies that promote social justice, economic equality, and opportunity for all. As a prosecutor, she focused on criminal justice reform, seeking to address racial disparities and create a fairer system for all. As a senator, she championed affordable health care, environmental protection, and gun control measures. These policy positions reflect a deep-seated commitment to addressing systemic inequalities and creating a more just and equitable society. In the context of the 2024 election, Harris's policy positions are likely to resonate strongly with Democratic voters who prioritize progressive values and social change. Her stances on issues such as climate change, healthcare, and income inequality align with the priorities of many Democratic voters, particularly younger generations and communities of color who have been disproportionately impacted by these issues. However, her progressive stances may also face opposition from more moderate or conservative voters who prioritize different values or perceive her policies as too radical or disruptive. The effectiveness of Harris's policy messaging will depend on her ability to articulate a clear vision, connect with voters on an emotional level, and demonstrate the real-world impact of her proposed solutions. In a political climate often dominated by sound bites and partisan rhetoric, her ability to cut through the noise and engage in thoughtful, substantive discussions about policy will be crucial for garnering support and building a winning coalition. Section 2. The Vice Presidency, a platform for performance and perception. The Vice Presidency, often described as a heartbeat away from the presidency, offers a unique platform for both performance and perception. While the Vice President's formal duties are limited, the role provides ample opportunities to shape policy, engage with the public, and demonstrate leadership on the national and international stage. For Kamala Harris, her tenure as Vice President has been marked by both historic firsts and intense scrutiny, as she navigates the complexities of her role and the weight of expectations placed upon her. As the first female, first Black and first Asian American Vice President, Harris's every move has been closely watched and analyzed. Her performance in office, her interactions with foreign leaders, and even her fashion choices have been subject to a level of scrutiny rarely experienced by her predecessors. This heightened attention reflects both the significance of her position and the persistent challenges faced by women and people of color in positions of power. Despite the challenges, Harris has used her platform to advance key policy initiatives, engage with communities across the country, and represent the United States on the global stage. She has been a vocal advocate for voting rights, immigration reform, and economic empowerment for women and minorities. Her travels abroad, including visits to Central America and Southeast Asia, have focused on addressing the root causes of migration, strengthening diplomatic ties, and promoting human rights. The public's perception of Harris's performance as Vice President is likely to be influenced by a multitude of factors, including her policy successes, her communication style, and the media's portrayal of her tenure. Her ability to navigate the complexities of her role, demonstrate leadership on critical issues, and connect with voters on a personal level will be crucial for solidifying her public image and shaping her legacy as Vice President. Section 3. Transcending Gender, when policy trumps identity. In the realm of electoral politics, the interplay between a candidate's identity and their policy positions is often complex and multifaceted. While identity can be a powerful motivator for voters seeking representation and a champion for their concerns, it can also become a distraction from the substantive issues at stake. For Kamala Harris, her historic candidacy as the first female, first Black and first Asian American Vice President has undoubtedly energized many voters, but her success in the 2024 election will ultimately hinge on her ability to transcend identity politics and connect with voters on the basis of shared values and policy priorities. The tendency to view female candidates through the lens of their gender is a persistent challenge in American politics. Media coverage, voter perceptions, and even campaign strategies often focus on a female candidate's appearance, personality, and likability, rather than their qualifications, experience, and policy positions. This focus on identity over substance can undermine a female candidate's credibility and limit her ability to engage in serious discussions about the issues facing the country. For Kamala Harris to succeed in the 2024 election, she must navigate this challenging terrain by emphasizing her policy expertise, her record of accomplishment, and her vision for the future. She must articulate a clear and compelling policy agenda that addresses the concerns of all Americans, regardless of their gender, race, or background. By focusing on the issues that matter most to voters, the economy, healthcare, climate change, and social justice, she can transcend the limitations of identity politics and build a broad-based coalition of support. Ultimately, the success of Kamala Harris's candidacy will depend on her ability to connect with voters on a human level, to inspire hope for a better future, and to demonstrate that her leadership is grounded in a deep understanding of the challenges facing the nation and a commitment to finding solutions that benefit all Americans. Section 1. Decoding the electorate. A look at the numbers. Understanding the demographic composition of the electorate is crucial for comprehending the dynamics of any election. In the context of the 2024 presidential race, where Kamala Harris seeks to make history as the first female president, analyzing voter demographics and trends becomes even more critical. By delving into the numbers, we can gain insights into the potential challenges and opportunities facing Harris as she seeks to build a winning coalition. The United States is a nation of remarkable diversity, and its electorate reflects this rich tapestry of backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences. Age, race, ethnicity, gender, education level, geographic location, and socioeconomic status are just a few of the factors that shape voting patterns and influence the outcome of elections. Understanding how these demographic groups align with or diverge from Harris's candidacy is essential for assessing her chances of success. For instance, women voters, particularly women of color, are expected to be a crucial demographic for Harris's campaign. Her historic candidacy as the first female vice president has energized many women who see in her a reflection of their own aspirations and a champion for their concerns. However, it's important to note that women are not a monolithic voting bloc, and their support for Harris should not be taken for granted. Issues such as healthcare, education, and economic security are likely to be top of mind for many women voters, and Harris's ability to address these concerns effectively will be crucial for securing their support. Similarly, the youth vote, often characterized by its progressive leanings and engagement with social justice issues, is another demographic group that could play a significant role in the 2024 election. Harris's stances on climate change, gun control, and student loan debt align with the priorities of many young voters, but her ability to mobilize this demographic group and overcome their historically low voter turnout rates will be crucial for her success. Section 2. Beyond the gender binary, understanding voting patterns. While gender is an important factor to consider when analyzing voter behavior, it's essential to move beyond simplistic assumptions about how men and women vote. The reality is far more nuanced, with significant variations within and across gender lines based on a multitude of factors, including race, ethnicity, age, education level, and socioeconomic status. Reducing voter behavior to a gender binary ignores the complex interplay of identities and experiences that shape individual political beliefs and voting decisions. For instance, while white men have historically been a reliable voting bloc for Republican candidates, black men have consistently shown strong support for Democratic candidates, particularly those who prioritize issues of racial justice and economic equality. Similarly, while white women have often been referred to as a swing demographic, Latinas have emerged as a powerful force in Democratic politics, driven by their commitment to issues such as healthcare, education, and immigration reform. Furthermore, focusing solely on the gender gap in voting can obscure other significant demographic trends shaping the electorate. The growing influence of millennial and Gen Z voters, who tend to be more diverse and progressive than older generations, is reshaping the political landscape in significant ways. Similarly, the increasing polarization of the electorate along educational lines, with college-educated voters increasingly aligning with the Democratic Party and non-college-educated voters gravitating towards the Republican Party, is another trend with profound implications for the 2024 election. To understand the complexities of voter behavior and the potential challenges and opportunities facing Kamala Harris's candidacy, it's crucial to move beyond simplistic assumptions about gender and delve into the intricate tapestry of factors that shape individual voting decisions. Section 1. Navigating the political labyrinth, party alignment and platforms. In the intricate chess game of American politics, party alignment stands as a formidable force, shaping voter perceptions, influencing policy debates, and ultimately determining the outcome of elections. Political parties, with their deeply entrenched ideologies, established networks, and vast resources, wield significant influence over the electoral landscape, guiding voters towards candidates who align with their values and priorities. For Kamala Harris, Navigating the complexities of party alignment, particularly within the Democratic Party, is crucial for securing her base, appealing to undecided voters, and ultimately achieving victory in the 2024 election. The Democratic Party, with its diverse coalition of voters and its commitment to social justice, economic equality, and progressive values, presents both opportunities and challenges for a candidate like Harris. Her progressive credentials and her historic candidacy as the first female, first black, and first Asian American vice president have energized many within the party's base, particularly those who prioritize representation and diversity in leadership. However, the Democratic Party is not a monolithic entity, and Harris must navigate internal divisions and competing priorities to build a united front. One of the key challenges facing Harris is the need to balance the demands of the party's progressive wing, which has gained significant influence in recent years, with the concerns of moderate and centrist voters who are often wary of radical change and prioritize pragmatic solutions. Her ability to articulate a policy agenda that addresses the concerns of both groups without alienating either will be crucial for maintaining party unity and maximizing her chances of success in the general election. Furthermore, Harris must contend with the inherent challenges of running as the incumbent party's candidate. While incumbency can provide certain advantages, such as name recognition and access to resources, it also comes with the burden of defending the current administration's record, even on issues where Harris may have disagreed with the president or where the administration's performance has fallen short of expectations. Her ability to navigate this delicate balance, highlighting the administration's successes while acknowledging areas for improvement, will be crucial for maintaining the support of Democratic voters who are satisfied with the status quo, while also appealing to those seeking change. Section 2. The Winds of Change. Economic Tides and Current Events. Elections are not held in a vacuum, but rather unfold against the backdrop of real-world events and circumstances that shape voter sentiment, influence priorities, and ultimately determine the outcome of the race. The economy, with its profound impact on people's lives, livelihoods, and aspirations, often plays an outsized role in elections, serving as a barometer of the electorate's mood and a litmus test for the incumbent party's performance. For Kamala Harris, the state of the economy in the lead-up to the 2024 election could prove to be either a tailwind propelling her towards victory or a headwind hindering her progress. The American economy, like a mighty river, is constantly ebbing and flowing, influenced by a confluence of factors, both domestic and global. Inflation, unemployment, wage growth, stock market performance, and consumer confidence are just a few of the economic indicators that voters monitor, often subconsciously, as they assess their own well-being and the direction of the country. A strong economy, characterized by low unemployment, rising wages, and stable prices, tends to benefit the incumbent party, while a weak or uncertain economy often favors the challenger, who can capitalize on voter anxieties and offer a message of change. In addition to the overall state of the economy, specific economic policies and their impact on different demographic groups can also influence voter behavior. For instance, policies aimed at addressing income inequalities, such as raising the minimum wage or expanding access to affordable healthcare, might resonate strongly with working-class voters and communities of color, while tax cuts for businesses or deregulation efforts might appeal to higher-income earners and those who prioritize economic growth. Harris's ability to articulate an economic vision that addresses the concerns of a broad range of voters, demonstrating both empathy for those struggling and a commitment to creating opportunities for all, will be crucial for her success. Beyond the economy, current events, both domestic and international, can also have a profound impact on elections, often in unpredictable ways. Natural disasters, terrorist attacks, social unrest, and international conflicts can all capture the public's attention, shift priorities, and influence voter behavior. These events can create a sense of uncertainty, fear, or anger, leading voters to seek out leaders who offer stability, security, or a sense of purpose. Harris's ability to respond to these events with empathy, competence, and a clear vision for the future will be crucial for maintaining public trust and navigating the unpredictable currents of the 2024 election. Section 3. Winning hearts and minds. Campaign strategies and public engagement. In the realm of electoral politics, where victory hinges on winning the hearts and minds of the electorate, effective campaign strategies and authentic public engagement are paramount. Gone are the days when candidates could rely solely on traditional media outlets and stump speeches to convey their messages and connect with voters. In today's hyper-connected world, where information flows at lightning speed and attention spans are fleeting, campaigns must employ sophisticated strategies, leverage the power of new technologies, and engage with voters on a more personal and authentic level to break through the noise and earn their support. Kamala Harris, seeking to make history as the first female president, faces the daunting task of crafting a campaign strategy that not only highlights her qualifications and vision for the country, but also resonates with a diverse electorate, overcomes historical biases, and mobilizes voters to turn out in record numbers. Her campaign must navigate the complexities of a rapidly evolving media landscape, harness the power of data analytics, and cultivate a strong online presence to reach voters where they are, engage them in meaningful conversations, and ultimately persuade them to cast their ballots in her favor. One of the key challenges facing Harris's campaign is the need to combat misinformation and disinformation, which have become increasingly prevalent in the digital age. Social media platforms, while offering powerful tools for communication and outreach, have also become breeding grounds for false or misleading information, often spread intentionally to sow discord, undermine trust, and influence elections. Harris's campaign must be prepared to counter these narratives swiftly and effectively, using a combination of fact-checking, debunking, and positive messaging to ensure that voters have access to accurate information and can make informed decisions. Beyond combating misinformation, Harris's campaign must also develop a compelling and consistent message that resonates with voters across the political spectrum. This message should articulate her vision for the country, outlining her policy priorities and her plans to address the challenges facing the nation. However, it must go beyond policy prescriptions and connect with voters on an emotional level, tapping into their hopes, aspirations, and anxieties, and offering a message of hope, unity, and progress. Public engagement, both in person and online, will be crucial for Harris's campaign to build relationships with voters, earn their trust, and mobilize them to take action. Traditional campaign events, such as rallies, town halls, and meet and greets, remain valuable opportunities for candidates to connect with voters face-to-face, answer their questions, and share their vision for the future. However, these events must be complemented by a robust online presence, leveraging social media platforms, email marketing, and other digital tools to engage with voters where they are, share information, and build a sense of community. The impulse to assign blame is deeply ingrained in human nature. When confronted with setbacks, disappointments, or outcomes that defy expectations, our instinct often gravitates towards identifying a culprit, a scapegoat upon which to lay the burden of responsibility. This reflex, while understandable, can be particularly pronounced in the realm of politics, where passions run high, stakes are perceived as existential, and the complexities of human behavior intersect with the intricacies of systems and institutions. In the aftermath of an election, especially one as closely watched and emotionally charged as the 2024 presidential race, the temptation to succumb to the allure of blame will be strong. Should Kamala Harris fall short in her bid for the presidency, a chorus of voices will inevitably rise to offer explanations, many of which will likely focus on her identity as a woman, a person of color, or both. These narratives, while often presented with an air of authority or certainty, are often rooted in a blend of conscious and unconscious biases, reflecting societal anxieties, historical prejudices, and the enduring power of stereotypes. The seductive trap of blame lies in its simplicity, its ability to offer a seemingly clear and straightforward explanation for complex phenomena. It is far easier, after all, to attribute a candidate's loss to their gender or race than to grapple with the multifaceted factors that shape electoral outcomes. The intricacies of policy debates, the influence of economic trends, the effectiveness of campaign strategies, the vagaries of voter turnout, and the unpredictable winds of current events. Yet, this simplicity is deceptive, for it obscures more than it illuminates, perpetuating harmful stereotypes, hindering our understanding of the political landscape, and ultimately impeding our ability to create a more just and equitable society. As we reflect on the 2024 election and its implications for American democracy, it is imperative that we resist the allure of blame and instead embrace a more nuanced and informed understanding of the forces at play. This requires a willingness to engage with complexity, to acknowledge the interplay of multiple factors, and to challenge our own assumptions and biases. By moving beyond the simplistic narratives of blame, we can foster a more productive and meaningful dialogue about the challenges facing our nation and the best paths forward. To truly comprehend the tapestry of factors that contribute to a candidate's victory or defeat, we must resist the urge to reduce complex phenomena to simplistic explanations. Attributing Kamala Harris's potential loss solely to the actions or inactions of a specific demographic group, such as men, is not only intellectually dishonest but also deeply misleading. It ignores the multitude of influences that shape individual voting decisions, from personal values and policy preferences to economic anxieties and social identities. Instead of succumbing to the seductive trap of blame, we must embrace a more nuanced and data-driven approach to electoral analysis. This requires delving into the intricacies of voter demographics, examining voting patterns across different regions, age groups, education levels, and socio-economic backgrounds. It necessitates analyzing the effectiveness of campaign strategies, the resonance of policy platforms, and the impact of external events on the political landscape. Furthermore, we must acknowledge that voters are not monolithic entities, blindly following predetermined scripts based on their gender, race, or any other single identity marker. To truly understand the motivations behind voter behavior, we must engage with the lived experiences, aspirations, and anxieties of individuals within these demographic groups, recognizing the diversity of perspectives and experiences that exist within any given population. This commitment to nuance requires a willingness to engage with data that challenges our preconceived notions, to listen to voices that differ from our own, and to acknowledge the limitations of our own perspectives. It demands humility, curiosity, and a genuine desire to understand the complexities of human behavior within the context of a dynamic and ever-evolving political landscape. By embracing this approach, we can move beyond the counterproductive cycle of blame and towards a more informed and constructive understanding of our democracy. Section 3. The high cost of division towards a more unified understanding. The blame game, while initially tempting, ultimately carries a hefty price tag. When we engage in simplistic narratives that attribute electoral outcomes solely to the actions of specific groups, we sow seeds of division and resentment. We create a climate of distrust and animosity, where empathy and understanding are replaced by suspicion and hostility. This divisiveness undermines the very fabric of a healthy democracy. It erodes the sense of shared purpose and common good necessary for productive civic discourse and effective governance. When we view each other through the distorted lens of blame, we lose sight of our shared humanity, our common goals, and our collective responsibility to address the challenges facing our nation. Instead of perpetuating this cycle of blame and division, we must strive to foster a more unified understanding of our political landscape. This begins with recognizing that elections are not zero-sum games, where one group's gain necessarily comes at the expense of another's. Rather, they are opportunities for us to engage in a collective process of deliberation, debate, and decision-making, ultimately striving to elect leaders who will represent the interests of all citizens, regardless of their background or beliefs. This requires a shift in perspective, a move away from viewing politics through the narrow lens of individual or group interests, and towards a broader understanding of the common good. It necessitates a willingness to engage in respectful dialogue with those who hold different views, to find common ground where possible, and to seek solutions that benefit the entirety of society. By rejecting the divisive rhetoric of blame and embracing a more unified approach to understanding our political system, we can create a more just, equitable, and prosperous future for all Americans. This requires courage, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to the principles of democracy, recognizing that our strength as a nation lies not in our differences, but in our shared humanity and our collective determination to build a better future together. Section 1. The bigger picture, moving beyond gender. In 2024 and beyond. As we've explored the intricate web of factors surrounding the 2024 election, one overarching theme emerges. The need to move beyond simplistic explanations, particularly those that reduce complex political phenomena to a candidate's gender. While Kamala Harris's historic candidacy as the first female vice president seeking the highest office in the land has undoubtedly captivated the nation and sparked important conversations about representation and equality, it is crucial to avoid viewing her candidacy solely through the lens of her gender. To do so risks obscuring the multifaceted forces that shape electoral outcomes and perpetuating harmful stereotypes that hinder our understanding of both politics and the individuals who navigate its challenging terrain. Throughout this exploration, we have delved into the depths of Kamala Harris's background, examining her journey from a daughter of immigrants to a trailblazing prosecutor, senator, and vice president. We have scrutinized her policy positions, her leadership style, and her ability to connect with voters from diverse backgrounds. We have analyzed the media's portrayal of her candidacy, recognizing both the progress that has been made in terms of representation and the enduring challenges posed by implicit bias and gendered expectations. And we have examined the demographic trends, economic anxieties, and social currents that shape the political landscape of 2024, recognizing the complexity of voter motivations and the interplay of multiple factors that influence electoral choices. Through this comprehensive analysis, it becomes clear that attributing Kamala Harris's success or failure solely to her gender would be a disservice to both the candidate and the electorate. Such a simplistic explanation ignores the depth and breadth of her experience, the complexity of the challenges facing our nation, and the multitude of factors that influence voter behavior. It also perpetuates a dangerous narrative that reinforces the notion that a woman's electability is primarily determined by her gender, rather than her qualifications, her vision, her leadership skills, or her ability to address the pressing issues of our time. As we move forward, it is imperative that we continue to challenge these simplistic narratives and embrace a more nuanced and informed understanding of the forces that shape our political landscape. This requires a willingness to engage with complexity, to acknowledge the interplay of multiple factors, and to resist the temptation to reduce individuals to a single aspect of their identity. By embracing this approach, we can create a more inclusive and equitable political arena where all candidates, regardless of gender, race, religion, or sexual orientation, are judged on their merits and their ability to serve the best interests of the nation. Section 2. A call for unity and understanding, shaping a more inclusive political future. The 2024 election, regardless of its outcome, presents a pivotal moment for American democracy. It is an opportunity for us to reflect on our values, to engage in thoughtful dialogue about the challenges facing our nation, and to chart a course towards a more just, equitable, and prosperous future for all. However, to realize this potential, we must move beyond the divisive rhetoric of blame and recrimination that has come to characterize much of our political discourse. Instead, we must embrace a spirit of unity and understanding, recognizing that our strength as a nation lies not in our differences but in our shared humanity and our common purpose. The impulse to assign blame, to identify scapegoats for complex societal problems is understandable, even human. Yet it is an impulse that we must resist, for it leads us down a path of division and distrust, undermining our ability to address the challenges we face collectively. When we attribute electoral outcomes solely to the actions or inactions of specific demographic groups, we create a climate of animosity and resentment that makes meaningful dialogue and compromise nearly impossible. We also perpetuate harmful stereotypes that reinforce existing inequalities and hinder our ability to create a more just and equitable society. Instead of succumbing to the allure of blame, let us choose a different path, one marked by empathy, understanding, and a commitment to finding common ground. Let us engage in respectful dialogue with those who hold different views, recognizing that even in our disagreements, we share a common humanity and a desire to create a better future for ourselves and our children. Let us focus on the issues that unite us, such as the need for quality education, affordable healthcare, economic opportunity, and a healthy environment, and work together to find solutions that benefit all Americans, regardless of their background or beliefs. The 2024 election is not just about choosing a president. It is about choosing the kind of nation we want to be. It is a choice between division and unity, between fear and hope, between the politics of blame and the politics of possibility. Let us choose wisely, remembering that our democracy is strongest when we embrace our diversity, respect our differences, and work together towards a common purpose. Let us create a future where every voice is heard, every individual is valued, and every citizen has the opportunity to reach their full potential. Section 1. Charting a Path Forward. Lessons for Candidates, Media and Society. Kamala Harris's journey, regardless of the 2024 election's outcome, offers valuable lessons for future female candidates, the media and society as a whole. It underscores the need for a collective shift in how we perceive, discuss and support women in positions of power. For future female candidates, Harris's experience highlights the importance of authenticity, resilience, and a steadfast commitment to policy over persona. It emphasizes the need to build broad coalitions, connect with voters on a personal level, and articulate a clear and compelling vision for the future. It also underscores the importance of surrounding oneself with a strong and supportive team, capable of navigating the unique challenges faced by women in the political arena. The media, as gatekeepers of information and shapers of public opinion, bear a responsibility to examine their own biases and strive for more equitable coverage of all candidates. This includes being mindful of gendered language, avoiding harmful stereotypes, and focusing on policy positions and qualifications over personality traits or appearance. It also means providing a platform for diverse voices and perspectives, ensuring that women from all backgrounds have the opportunity to share their experiences and contribute to the national dialogue. Finally, society as a whole must confront the deeply ingrained biases and double standards that women in leadership positions often face. We must challenge sexist attitudes, dismantle systemic barriers, and create a culture that celebrates and supports women's leadership. This includes encouraging young girls to pursue their dreams, mentoring women in male-dominated fields, and holding our elected officials accountable for promoting gender equality in all spheres of public life. By learning from Kamala Harris's experience and embracing a more inclusive and equitable approach to politics, we can create a future where every individual, regardless of gender, has the opportunity to reach their full potential and contribute to the betterment of our nation. As we reflect on the lessons from Kamala Harris's journey and the broader implications for our political landscape, one thing becomes clear. The pursuit of a more inclusive and equitable society is a collective responsibility. Pause 3S. Whether you're a voter, a candidate, a member of the media, or simply someone who cares about the future of our nation, your actions matter. Each of us has a role to play in shaping a political environment that values diversity, champions equality, and embraces the unique contributions of every individual. Pause 3S. We must continue to challenge biases, support one another, and hold our leaders accountable. Together we can build a future where every person, regardless of gender, race or background, can aspire to lead and make a difference. Pause 3S. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content.